Good afternoon. What a wonderful day. The Honorable Chief Justice Ma, the Honorable Madam Justice Yun, Archbishop Dr. Kwong, Head Teacher Ms. Low, members of the teaching faculty, fellow old boys, parents, gentlemen of the class of 2019. Welcome to the 150th Anniversary Speech Day cum graduation ceremony. This year's school report is in your hands. May I invite you to read through the record of our extraordinary harvest from all sectors of school life this year. From the academic achievements to advances in the sciences, from sports to the performing arts, from brand new curriculum initiatives to winning streaks that spanned decades. We reap such harvest today because of the unwavering dedication, hard work, and sacrifice from each member of the diocesan community. I would like to take this opportunity to thank every one of you for your labor of love. First and foremost, I would like to thank our teaching faculty for working tirelessly and selflessly inside the classroom and out, instructing our boys as teachers and instructors, counseling them as mentors and friends. I would like to thank the parents for their trust in the school and the staunch support for our commitment to all-round education. I'd especially like to thank our prefects, our captains, our chairmen for serving and leading the school, for upholding our fraternal heritage and fostering this immutable comradeship. Congratulations, boys, especially those of you who are recipients of scholarships and awards. You have worked not only in the interest of your own good, but you have contributed to your classmates, to our school, and to the greater community as a whole. To our old boys, our covenant binds us more strongly than simple friendship. We are part of a lifelong brotherhood, and we thank you for your unceasing contribution to the school. Last but not least, I would like to thank our school committee, led by our dear Archbishop, for their discerning and far-sighted leadership. Your knowledge and wisdom has led our school to greater heights throughout the years. At the 150th anniversary inauguration ceremony less than 2 weeks ago, I shared about our collective vision of a glowing city on a hill, inspired by the words in Matthew 5:4. With such stellar landmarks still visible in our rear mirror, let us continue to strive forward, building on these successes, and keep this light ablaze. Today, besides celebrating our boys' various achievements, we have the privilege of listening to one of Hong Kong's greatest orators. I recall witnessing our Honorable Chief Justice delivering 2 scintillating speeches back-to-back within a span of 2 days back in 2012, once at our sister school and once here on Diocesan Hill. Later, I had discovered that because of various circumstances, our honorable guest had done away with his prepared speech and delivered an impromptu one, which was just as inspiring than the one I heard the previous day, if not more so. But I must confess, I do not possess our special guest's great ability and uncommon wit, so this is not a precedent that I am able to follow today. Chief Justice Ma, we are excited to welcome you back to DBS today and very much looking forward to hearing from you. At this juncture, I would like to change gears with my sharing now by posing this question to you all. What does our Honorable Chief Justice, a former headmaster, and a 15-year-old footballer have in common? And what does it have to do with the Diocesan Boys' School? First, the first gentleman. As an ordinary citizen of Hong Kong, we look to our Chief Justice with much admiration for leading our city's judiciary arm for the past 8 years. Hong Kong has depended upon and continues to depend on the judiciary as our sentinel. The sentinel to uphold the rule of law, judicial independence, and the separation of powers, ensuring justice, fairness, and equality for all, fortifying the bedrock, or some would say, the steel spine of our city. Witnessing the Chief Justice in action inspires us to contemplate for ourselves, as an education institution, what is truly worth protecting, what is truly worth upholding, and what is truly worth fighting for. One thing DBS must continue to uphold is to be a conduit of truth. We learn knowledge as we come to school every day, but there's much, much more to it. At DBS, we want you to know that acquiring knowledge is only the first step. We must keep building on this. Knowledge is an essential foundation for discernment. In turn, discernment leads to wisdom, and wisdom guides us to the ultimate discovery of truth. The example of our Chief Justice reminds us to safeguard what is truly important and never to yield nor waver. The second gentleman I'd like to share about is our former headmaster, Mr. Featherstone. In 1921, with students filling our Bonham Road address to capacity, our former headmaster, Mr. Featherstone, had a vision for a campus with room to grow. He was faced with a choice between a school site just west of the University of Hong Kong and a 23-acre piece of undeveloped hill on Kowloon side, far from the city center, close to the New Territories boundary, surrounded by paddy fields and farmland. This piece of land, incidentally, was priced at $481,000 at that time. I wonder what kind of real estate we can buy with $481,000 these days. Perhaps 1/3 of a parking space. When weighing the option to move or not, records showed that the naysayers claimed that the site was too far, too barren, and too underdeveloped. But Mr. Featherstone, as well as the school council, had a vision of a place where boys could enjoy the space to study, to read, to gather as a community, to conduct experiments, and very importantly, to play. Even with this foresight, the circumstances did not make it easy. Externally, the school faced nearly insurmountable challenges. There was significant political unrest leading to racial tension, large-scale strikes, and eventual sharp economic downturn, which severely hampered the financing of this relocation project. But the school council buckled down and made the decision to go ahead. The move to this very hill was finally completed in the year 1926. It took a long time to repay all the accrued debt, but the building that we are currently sitting in, this campus with a centerpiece building that resembled the Chinese character Lord, stands as a living testimony of the trailblazing mentality of the diocesan school. Mr. Featherstone reminded us the importance of gaining foresight and persevering for the sake of a better future. The third gentleman I'd like to share about is a young footballer. Back in 1904, the Hong Kong Interschool Football League consisted of only 4 schools. These 4 teams came from Queen's College, St. Joseph's College, Victoria College, and the Diocesan Boys' School. Out of the 4 teams and 44 starting players in the competition, only 1 boy was Chinese. This boy was a student of ours, and his name was Mok Hing. Seeing that the football scene was dominated by expatriates, Mok Hing had the vision that all Chinese men and boys should have the opportunity to play competitive football. The overwhelming racial disparity was just another obstacle that he had to overcome. In 1908, Mok Hing formed the first 40-member Chinese football team. Mok Hing himself financed this endeavor, which included paying for the uniforms. In 1910, the club was renamed the South China Football Club. The team enjoyed a fair bit of success in overseas competitions and even captured the championships at the Far Eastern Games in 1919. The next year, Mok Hing's vision continued to blossom as the South China Football Club changed its name that lasted to this very day, the South China Athletic Association, Nanhua Taiyuk Hui. To this day, the SCAA remained as one of Hong Kong's premier athletic clubs. In Mok Hing, we're reminded of the importance of heeding the call to dare to blaze trails for the common good. So to answer my question posed at the beginning, all 3 gentlemen reminded us of what is truly important in our diocesan education. All 3 gentlemen exemplify the attributes we cherish at DBS, and we hope that you will embrace these virtues for yourselves. 1, to uphold the sacred core values of our community. To persevere through hardship in order to find a better future. To blaze trails in service of your fellow man. As I look across the podium into the audience and see your faces, I can't help but wonder if our future Chief Justice is seated in our midst. I wonder if there's someone seated among us who will continue to be the champion of justice for this city and beyond. Or will some of you return to these hallowed grounds someday, like Mr. Featherstone, and take the diocesan community to greater heights? Will some of you blaze trails in different sectors, like Mok Heng, and fight for the greater good of our community? The great writer Eric Roth wrote this about life's great adventure. He said, "I hope you see things that startle you. I hope you feel things that you have never felt before. I hope you meet people with different points of view. I hope you live the life you're proud of. If you're not, I hope you have the strength to start all over again." No matter where you are, what stage of life you're in, what kinds of joys and pains that you are going through, whether you're seated in the pews or in the balcony or on this stage, keep fighting for your convictions. Keep fighting for what you believe is right. I pray with excitement for you as you continue to take steps and keep rising again and again in this great journey that is God's calling for you. May God bless you all, and may God bless the Diocesan Boys School. Thank you.